Maybe you want to be on a beach right now, or live in that laptop lifestyle, but it's hard to do when you have to be working all these hours all the time to be able to get the money to do those things. It's something everybody wants, but only some people have, and that's mainly because it's a lot easier for some people to obtain and start than others. Name a celebrity. I bet you that they have some sort of passive income coming in, and that's not the case for everybody, but most of the time. And it's because if you're well known, then you have influence, and people are way more likely to listen to you because you're just a somebody. And there's nothing wrong with being a normal people, it just means you're not one of those people with a following that make videos about how many sources of income they have. Okay, I did do that one. People asked me on my income source video how they could start creating passive income even if they don't have a following. So that's what this video is about. 6 ways that anybody can create passive income. But as we're getting into the list, always remember that when passive income comes up, think of it like an author would. Someone who writes a book, they spend a lot of time doing it, and after, when it's done, they publish it, and then it's passive. Number 1 is creating a tool. And no, I'm not telling you to make like a new hammer or something like that. I'm talking about a digital tool, like Honey, for example, which we probably all know what it is by now, but if you don't, it's a browser extension that finds coupons for you whenever you're buying something online. And no, this video is not sponsored by Honey. Anyways, after the developers wrote the code for this extension in the first place, they can pretty much just sit back now, and they get a small percentage every time someone makes a purchase. And they're probably millionaires now, and all they did was write the program, make the program like one time. And yes, you may not know how to code, or you just hate it, like me, but you can always outsource this kind of work if you have a good idea for some type of tool. But if you don't have the skills or the money like many of us, then you just have to find the right tools to create. For example, I have friends who are photographers and don't know much about, making tools at all, but what they do instead is sell Lightroom presets, which are like, filters for your photos, so you don't have to edit them yourself. So they didn't have to develop their own way of creating a tool, they just used something that was already built for them to create a tool and then sell it. Editing photos is what my friends were good at, and they turned it into a tool. So remember that even normal people have their own skills, and if you think about what your own skills are, think about which ones that you might be able to turn into a tool. And if you do have a skill you can do that with, then you might have a good amount of passive income coming your way. Number 2 is sell a course. And before anyone says, a course, I thought this was for normal people. Remember, like we said, everyone has skills and everyone can make money by teaching them. Yes, it's no secret that if you have a following and you create a course, then you have like free marketing to your course, and obviously you'll probably sell more, which is why the platform that you use to sell your course really matters. I recommend Skillshare because it's kind of like YouTube in the sense that if you type something in the search bar, like how to do this, your video or your course will come up if someone is looking for that exact thing. If you make a course on how to make the best chocolate chip cookies in the world and someone searches for how to do that, then your course will come up. And people watch courses on like everything. You can find courses about how to fish to like becoming a fish. For some inspiration, one of my friends graduated from college and they got their dream job right after graduating, so they took that accomplishment and made a $10 course from it about how to create a desirable resume and cover letter for all these companies and brands that you're applying to. He had no following, he didn't promote it anywhere, and at one point it was making him almost $1,000 per month, like recurring. So when you think of things you could teach, think about your skills, of course, but also think about things that you've just like completed or achieved in your life that maybe other people want to achieve as well, and you could teach that. A lot of the ways we make passive income and also just like our normal income nowadays, a lot of it's done online, so you have to make sure that you're doing it like safely. And what I mean by that is not too long ago, I actually got hacked. Everything, all my usernames, passwords, everything was leaked. They had access to all of my emails, my PayPal, my bank account even, and I'm just lucky that that happened before I had this YouTube channel, or it would probably be gone too. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, NordPass. And NordPass is a secure password manager where you can store all of your passwords in one place on your computer. I used to just store all of my passwords in my browsers, when you type something in your login and then it asks you up here, do you want to save this password? And that's what ended up getting hacked and getting totally leaked. Now that I'm using NordPass, that won't happen again. NordPass also helps you generate secure passwords. They warn you if you go on a potentially dangerous site, and they also encrypt your data so that NordPass themselves doesn't even have access to your logins. And they're having an end of winter sale right now, which means if you use my link below, you'll get 70% off and an extra month free, and if it asks, you can use the code AdamBell, because we gotta stay safe when we're making that passive income. Number 3 is medium.com, which you guys may have heard me talk about on the channel before, and that's because I think it's a super cool platform where you can make like a lot of money without having to put any of your own money in the first place. It's a website similar to YouTube, but instead of posting videos, you post articles and things that you've written, and if they get a lot of views or reads, just like YouTube, then the authors get paid more. Anyone can make money writing on Medium because if an article gets read a lot, then it gets promoted and shared more, and then it can end up making the author, you know, more money, even if they're not a somebody and they don't have a following. It's all about how good the articles are. And people may say, well, don't you have to be a good writer to actually make money from doing this? So not everybody could do it. And I guess we're gonna have to see about that because I'm making a video about Medium, how much I've made over writing articles for months. And I mean, I'm not the best writer, so we'll see what happens in that video. And I'll link my account below so you can follow the journey there. I realized that was not good self-promotion. I'm like, I'm not very good, but follow me anyways. And it's a good one to try out because the only thing you need to get started is a time investment. Number 4 is renting your items out. And most people have a few things at least that are worth renting out. Maybe it's a tent, maybe it's camera gear, maybe it's even a ladder. I actually rented a ladder for $20 for a 30-second segment in a video not too long ago. So what can I say? I do it for you guys, okay? I do it for you. I actually rent some of my own camera gear out every single month usually, and I make around $100. And I personally use Ruckify, which I'll link below, but you can rent your stuff out and actually make a decent amount of money. And obviously the more expensive and more like sought after these things are that you're renting, the more money you can make. And there's also a larger scale to just renting your stuff out, and that's like, you know, when you're renting your car or renting a bedroom or renting your house. And if you're looking to do this, you can probably just go on Google and type in rent my things near me, and some type of service that helps you with doing that will probably come up. And if you do rent out a ladder, you might get lucky and a guy making YouTube videos might rent it out for 30 seconds for $20. This one does require a little bit of work because you have to figure out when you're gonna meet people, when you're gonna hand the stuff off, when you're gonna get it back, but overall most of the money you're making is gonna be passive income. Number 5 is become a creator of some sort. At the beginning of the video, we talked about how it's a lot easier for some people to make passive income than others, so why not give yourself the best chance possible by becoming one of those people? Whether it's a YouTube channel, a blog, a website, a business, they get traffic. People naturally clicking their videos, clicking on their website, which makes promoting something a lot easier to those people. Obviously, the hard part of this one is figuring out what it is that you're gonna create that is of value so people want to come and see it. But people who are doing it do it with YouTube, they do it with Medium, like we said, they do it with TikTok. It's worth putting the time into creating some kind of voice on one of these platforms if your long-term goal is to have a bunch of sources of passive income. And if you choose a platform like the 3 I just mentioned, like YouTube, TikTok, or Medium, you guys probably know that creators get paid over time, even years into the future. I mean, this video right here, it might make me $10 next year, it might make me $100, but it also might make like 1 cent, but it will make me something. And after I've created it, you know, I get paid passively. Number 6 is a high interest savings account, and people may say, well, why don't you talk about dividends or investments or stocks? And I kind of wanted to keep it simple. If you keep most of your money in a savings account with your bank, even if they call it a high interest savings account, most of the time the interest rate is not much at all. And you're not making as much as you could either. Usually the big banks' interest rates are extremely low. I suggest to people they should open a high interest savings account with an online bank that has no fees. The one that I use is EQ Bank. I don't know what the interest rate right now is. I'll put it up on the screen here so you know. Compared to like the normal one on this side, it depends how much money you have in your account, but this one's definitely gonna earn you way more than that one will. I've been using EQ Bank for years now. I've made hundreds of dollars in interest and I have never paid any fees. And the sign up took like 10 seconds on their website. This video is not sponsored by them either, which EQ Bank, if you want to sponsor me, I mean, get in touch. And I'll leave EQ Bank link below this video as well. It's totally possible to create multiple sources of passive income even when you're a normal person. It might just be a bit harder to get started. So some takeaways for you guys are, when you think about your skills, think about if any of them can be turned into tools or into courses. Do you have any items that people may want to rent? Do you have enough knowledge in a certain niche to become a creator and open up a whole new list of possible passive income sources? And finally, are you making sure you're doing all of it without getting hacked? With today's video sponsor below. Thank you again, NordPass, for sponsoring the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave it a like so I know to make more videos like this one, and I hope to see you guys next week because I'm really excited for that video coming out. So subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell, and I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you next week.